What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And yes, we're coming to you a day after a tough Chicago Bears loss. And we're going to go over our takeaways from that game. Where can the Bears improve? Where do we hope they build upon? We're going to get into all that and some more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, Bears fans. So it's been a tough 24 hours. If you guys are anything like me, seeing the Bears lose and the manner in which they lost in basically every facet of the game, in a game that was winnable, right? Not to be able to score a single touchdown in that game, all field goals. It's a frustrating game to see, right? It's just frustrating to watch. It's demoralating in a lot of ways. So demoralizing. Demoralizing. Did I say demoralate? That's not even a word. Nonetheless, that's how flustered I am by the Bears loss. I'm not even talking correctly, but after this, there's been some reasonable questions about Luke Getsy and how he runs this offense. Some questionable play calls, as we really have had, not to this degree, but all throughout the season. And so it's led a lot of Bears fans to ask the question, why did the Chicago Bears go with a rookie offensive coordinator, considering you had a rookie head coach? Why not go with a more veteran offensive coordinator to help your rookie head coach, especially since you have a defensive-minded head coach at that? Those questions are very valid, I think, when you look at the way that this coaching staff was built out, and it's made it really kind of hard to know what to evaluate with this team. When you look at the fluctuating on the offensive line, at this point, we need to stop the Lucas Patrick at the right guard position. Put Tevin Jenkins in there. Let him be the right guard. Stop this in and out bullshit, because it needs to stop. We know Tevin Jenkins gives us the best option at that right guard position. You look at our tackles. Tackles have been pretty good. There's been some overall issues on the offensive line. 11 sacks in the last 2 games for the Chicago Bears. These are things that we want and need to move away from. But a lot of questions are rising from this team, rightfully so, and where we stand. And so, some of the takeaways from this game, if we're going to look over it, is one, that our run defense, our defense as a whole didn't seem very prepared, but our run defense needs to improve big time for the Chicago Bears team. When you look at, yes, we were facing Saquon Barkley, who is a beast and a monster, but when you look at how they scored their 2 touchdowns with the bootleg and the Bears just not adjusting to it well, Jaquan Brisker getting caught out of position sometimes, our defense does not seem as prepared as what it did in certain preseason games and early in the season. It seems like there's some regression there with the preparation and the discipline, things like that. And it's a young team. It's a team that hasn't won anything. It's a team that doesn't have the highest aspirations across the NFL and things like that. So it's going to be some of those growing pains along the way. There are going to be some times of regression. There's going to be some times of questionable things and actions and getting beat. But we need to see a better preparation from this team and drastic improvement from that rushing defense, in my opinion. Now, another takeaway from this game, the red zone. Listen, we get to the red zone at times. And even at times in this game, the third down play calling, we were 4 for 8 on third downs in the first half of this game. We ended 5 of 12 or 5 of 14, I think, overall. So a big regression as far as the third down conversions in the second half of this game. You want to see those type of things improve, but we need to improve our results in the red zone. We don't score enough touchdowns, period. That's rushing or passing. We need to score more touchdowns. The fact that we scored every score in this game was all field goals, it's not going to cut it. That's not going to win you football games. Like I said, this could have very well been a winnable football game with some better play calling, with getting in the end zone even one time to add to that field goal game. It's tons of questions there. We need to see that improve drastically for this team. So one of the takeaways in that sense is we need to find a way to be more successful when we do get in the red zone. Do we need to be able to get into the red zone a little bit more? Yes, but in the first half of this game, one of the things that we were saying in the prediction show that we wanted to see was just this team improve on that third down. And they did that in the first half. It just not was sustained through the second half of this game. If we can get those type of improvements from this team, hopefully that results in more winnable games overall. So the Bears ended up 5 for 15 on third downs after starting in the first half being 4 for 8. That is ugly. You want to see that improve drastically for the Chicago Bears, and hopefully it does improve. Now, another takeaway from this game as well is that as much as Justin Fields made improvements in this game, his decision making was better in this game. Him connecting to wide receivers was better in this game. Like overall, the spreading of the ball, actually passing to receivers. There was the one thing that I said coming into this game, or one of the things, because I said a lot. One of the things that I said coming into this game was I wanted to see improvement from the passing game. I didn't want to see them be perfect. Didn't need that. I didn't need to see Justin Fields go for a crazy number or anything like that, but I needed to see improvement from the passing game. Now, when I said that, I was under the impression that we were going to continue our overall play in the running game, that we were going to continue that. We did not. Our running game was not good yesterday. Like Khalil Herbert had 11 carries for under 50 yards in the first half. He finishes with 19 carries on 77 yards. Justin Fields, 7 with 52. Treston Ebner, 6 for 20, who did finish with overall 149 yards rushing. But guess what? It was not enough. It just wasn't enough. So, that's the type of thing. Justin Fields overall, I know I got into the rushing game, overall did improve in this week. He improved. His decision making was improved. He was 11 for 22. He got sacked 6 times, right? That's crazy to get sacked that amount of times, and 11 times in the last 2 games alone. But Justin Fields did make some improvements. We need to find a way to keep every other attack that we have solid as well. Our rushing game was not prepared, right? We got completely stuffed, and we need to fix that. Another one, and this is the biggest thing. What's going on with Luke Getsy? He needs to improve his play calling, period, point blank. He has been as much of a liability as Lucas Patrick at right guard. Luke Getsy has been that as our offensive coordinator. We need to figure that the hell out of what's going on with him. He talked about very heavily like not being able to wait to see what this team get our actual offense on tape and things like that. This is our actual offense. It's not looking good for you, Luke, and don't be surprised. One of the things that I'm going to say here, and this may completely go, we got 15 games left in the season. I'm sorry, 13 games left in the season. This may go completely out of question, but don't be surprised if the end of the season, if this offense continuously looks this bad, Justin Fields may not be the scapegoat. It may be Luke Getsy who catches the can and they go out and get a different offensive coordinator. The offensive play calling, the offensive schemes have left so much to be desired on the Chicago Bears team, and we may very well see if this continues throughout the whole season, a move may be made, rookie offensive coordinator or not, offensive line falling apart or not. We may see that. Heads may roll, and that head may be Luke Getsy when it's all said and done, but we need to see improvement from him, especially if he wants to keep this job. But overall, if this team wants to be more successful, we do need to see that from Luke Getsy. Another takeaway, Eddie Jackson's back. Eddie Jackson is back. Eddie Jackson is back, and that feels good to say, right? That seems like we have the Eddie Jackson that we all initially fell in love with back. He's playing well. He's playing inspired. He's getting the turnovers. He's doing everything that we need to see Eddie Jackson do. And that, for one, is something that we can build upon as well. Another takeaway. What the hell is going on with Kyler Gordon? If it's him playing multiple positions, if that's the fault as a rookie, that they have him learning multiple things, pick a single position, much like with the offensive line and Tevin Jenkins. Pick a position and let him stick to it. Whether that means him playing less snaps overall, whether it means that him continue to get into learning by fire, whatever that is. But it seems like the trying to learn multiple positions for Kyler Gordon is not working for him or this defensive play scheme. Yes, the defense hasn't been terrible the whole season. It has not. But at the same time, Kyler Gordon has been, for the most part, to the point where our very own host here on this panel, usually C-Dub, is over. He's asking if Kyler Gordon needs to be benched. So while I've been very proud of the draft class that Ryan Poles has had, Kyler Gordon is right now sticking at as the sore thumb as the questionable, is that the route we should have went with that second pick that we had in this draft? He's leaving much to be desired, but I do think simplifying things down for him while he's struggling to sticking to one position. That doesn't mean you can't eventually move him to another position. That doesn't mean you can't eventually use him as a more versatile weapon. But something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Along those same lines, another rookie, Velus Jones, muffed a punt in preseason, muffed another one in this game, a key one. I don't know what it is. He needs to figure out how to hold on to the ball. We didn't use him as a wide receiver in this game. He had one thing to focus on and failed on that. So there's questions that are arising now with him as well, right? Again, one game. Let's see if he improves it. Let's see how he takes the failure in this game and uses that to improve his overall game and to come back stronger for the Chicago Bears. But as of right now, Kyler Gordon and Velus Jones are sticking out like sore thumbs as just not being ready, just not being prepared for what this team's asking them to do. And I hold myself accountable, ask how could Velus Jones help this passing game? You can't hold on to a punt. I'm worried if they do use you in the passing game, are you going to be able to hold on to those passes? Those are things that concern me with this team. And hopefully we see those things. Like, there's not a lot of positives to take away from this game. It just isn't. And I'm sorry if that's me being a Debbie Downer or whatever it is. It's just not a lot of positives that I feel that I have. Yes, Justin Fields had a better overall game. Eddie Jackson is back. Those are good things to have and to feel on, but like, there's still some questions. Robert Quinn has yet to make an impact. Al-Qaeda Muhammad, why does he still have a starting position? Right? Roquan Smith, while he's getting a lot of tackles for us, he is still missing key plays out there for us as well. There's certain things that this team needs to tighten up on. If they tighten up on those things, could we improve? Yes. But as of right now, a lot of that doubt, a lot of those things that are being thrown the Chicago Bears way, you have to understand, because even in our wins, they've been rearing their ugly heads. Listen, we know this is a rebuilding year. We know we weren't coming in expecting this team to do a lot, make this like deep playoff push or anything like that. But you want to see improvements, especially from key players. You want to see competency at a bare minimum. And we're not seeing that in a lot of areas. The way that this game was called on both defense and offense, I'm not letting this defense, as I said before, was not prepared for this game. They just did not seem prepared, and they did not adjust well to some things that were done. Even getting both their quarterbacks out the game to where they had to go to a wildcat. Us not being able to take advantage of those type of things. It's a lot left to be desired with this team, and there's a lot of improvements that I hope to see them make. And hopefully we see that. Let me know down below, what are some of your takeaways from this game? What are some of the things that upset you? What are some good things that you see this team could build upon? Let me know all that down below. We miss David Montgomery as well. Hopefully we hope to have him back and more people back next week. But that is it for today's daily episode of Chicago Bears Central. Make sure you're following the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearcentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, the number to do so is 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all. And I'm pissed off. I'm really, really pissed off.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.